Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 41 of the Diverse Dialogues podcast. I'm Mateo.
And I'm Ruben.
And no, we are not high. No, we are not tired. We just finished watching one of the worst movies I've seen in a fat minute. Now, I know okay, actually, not a fat minute because we just saw Madam Web not that long ago, but one of the worst horror movies I've ever seen in my life. That being the Slender Man movie.
Yeah.
We're drained. We don't
even have questions for this, even though this is the first
topic of Slender Man.
Yeah, or creepypastas if you want to go that direction. But honestly, even if you gave me the time, I would not be able to come with questions relating to Slender Man or creepypastas.
Probably because I don't really give a shit at this point.
What's your favorite creepypasta?
I'm gonna say a Kerbal and say Eyeless Jack.
Okay, I'm gonna say we deleted you.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyways, today we are reviewing Slender Man.
We just finished it. An hour and 30 minutes that we will not get back, even though it definitely took us way longer than an hour and 30 minutes because we kept pausing and rewatching scenes over and over again.
Yep.
Because we were like, did we see that correctly? Not in a good way. In like this movie is so shit. Let's just look back to see if we were misguided by what we saw.
Yeah.
So once again, it's going to be a case where Ruben's just going to be going over all of his notes that he took while watching this movie, as he did with Madam Web. And let's just get this over with.
Yep. This is Slender Man. So right off the bat, I knew this movie was going to flop for a couple reasons. One, it's based off of a creepypasta. Anything internet related is going to be dated as fuck. Two, it's rated PG-13.
Mm-hmm.
And three, it's made by Sony. And we just saw Madam Web. Ugh. And also, there was like 5 different logos before we got into the movie itself. Something relating to Mythology Productions. Yeah, I don't know. I never heard them, and they probably went out of business after this movie. But anyways, let's get started with the actual review. So the movie starts, title card already there, Slender Man. And it shows a panning shot of a forest, which looks bad. Yeah, when the camera work is bad, you already know there's going to be a problem. Then it shows just random stores, and then it shows a pile of shopping carts. And then it shows a school. What the fuck? And yes, we just started.
Of course, we brought up our... Okay, this is another bit of an inside joke that's recent. We're not going to make another podcast about this, but in a recent events, Tom brought up an idea to do a shopping cart horror film. So just seeing that just made us laugh.
Yeah, if you're wondering what the fuck that even means, we asked him to elaborate. He didn't.
Moving on.
Anyways, the film starts with these 2 girls talking at the bleachers about watching cat videos. And then one of them sneezes, and they talk about how sneezing could mean you can possibly give up your soul. And then they take a selfie. These have to be the most boring individuals I've ever seen in my life. And like I said, we just started. Anyways, cut to them walking down the hallway at school, and it shows our group of 4 friends, and they're talking about what
4 gamers.
They talk about what age they want to stay forever as. Yeah, these people are boring. And well, let's go over these 4 individuals, these 4 girls. You have Ren, Katie, Lizzie, and Chloe. What are their personalities? Absolutely nothing.
Oh wait, no, you messed it up. It's not Lizzie, it's Katie. Lizzie's the sister of Hallie or whatever the fuck.
I don't know, man. Their names all blend in.
Hallie, Katie, Chloe, and then Ren.
Ren. Yeah, can you spot the odd one out? Anyways, these girls, they approach a group of dude bros or something, and the bros talk about their secret hangout or something.
Which is never established later on, by the way.
Yeah. And then and then just cut to Ren at a dinner scene with her family talking about some girl that got pregnant. Again, has nothing
No,
to do.
it was Haley. Not Ren, it was Haley. Ren shows up later though.
Uh-huh. And then what's Smith? And then Ren talks about, she's gonna hang out with friends, they're gonna get drunk, they're gonna talk to boys and stuff. And then what's Smith? I don't know, Hallie, I think, I don't know, knocks on Ren's door. But then it was a sister that was like, "Oh, hey, can I come?" And keep in mind, when we first watched this, we thought it was like, "Oh, this friend knocks on this door," and the person who opened the door was like, "Oh, hey, can I come?" Because that's a natural invitation. But no, we were just being stupid. Sorry, we're adding in filler. Anyways, cut to them at someone's house. I already forgot all their faces, dude. And it shows a shot. I don't care that Phoenix is barking in the background. It shows a shot of a dad being drunk on the couch because I see that a lot in movies, dude. And then just cut to them watching porn and then drinking vodka. And then Ren talks about leaving the town because naturally, conversations go like that. After watching porn and drinking vodka, hey, you guys want to leave town? That's something natural to talk about. And then they talk about dating, they talk about boys, and they're like, hey, what were those other dude bros doing? And then one of them's like, oh, they were talking about apparently summoning Slender Man. And then they give exposition on Slender Man. Do we have to do it? No, because Slender Man has been around since 2013. But then again, his reputation's all over the place.
I got nothing.
Anyways, naturally, Ren was like, hey, we should summon him. I'm sorry I'm going insane, people. We just saw this movie. I'm going insane and I have to reread all of it. Anyways, Ren talks about summoning Slender Man, and then they look up the instructions on how to summon him. Watch this video and then you'll hear 3 bells and then open your eyes and then there's random shit on the computer. And then nothing happens. And then they just all lay down. And then one of them's in a dream and then they're in an alternate reality. They should have just watched the video and then when they open their eyes, they're in an alternate reality. That would have been cooler. Even if it's the fucking typical, oh, we're trapped in this video shit. I would have preferred that over what we just saw. Anyways, alternate reality dream sequence and then someone wakes up. I think it was Ren. I think it was Hallie. I don't fucking know. And then past 1 week later. Yeah, just casually past 1 week. And then they're just in a field trip at a cemetery. And then the teacher is clearly reading off of a Wikipedia article based on how he's talking. And then one of the girls says she's feeling sick. She threw up, and one of the other girls suspects that it's because of Carl's. Whatever that means. Does she mean Carl's Jr.? I don't know.
One of the dudes named Carl. I think that's what it's supposed to be, but what the fuck would that even mean?
Oh no.
Did she think about him and then
I don't know, dude. Anyways, 3 of them walk by and then Katie is looking off the distance. I know you forgot who's who, but like all their personalities blended.
No, you will never forget Katie because her name is said like a bajillion times in this movie.
Anyways, Katie looks off in the distance. She looks at trees and then just out of nowhere, she's missing. Like it cuts a few hours later, she's gone. Ren tries calling her. They all start texting her. And it's like, bro, I think you skipped an entire hour, but okay. And then they call the police. The kids leave the field trip. Police are investigating the forest for Katie. And then just cut to, the news is talking about Katie's disappearance. Yeah, all that happens in the span of like a minute, by the way. Anyways, cut to Hallie and her little sister Lizzie at home. A random noise happens, and then Hallie investigates the noise. And then there's a shadow shown in the window. Now, we had to replay the footage, or I told Mateo to replay the footage because I did not see where it was, but it was a shadow in the corner of a window, and it was dark. Which, by the way, I should have brought that up earlier. There's a problem with this film and the oversaturated darkness. You could argue it's part of the aesthetic or whatever,
It's desaturated, and they fucking fan four-sticked this movie with the lighting.
Uh-huh.
You could barely see shit, and I get it. It's a horror movie. You have to be suspenseful, but you at the same time, like,
You need to show what's scary.
you need to show the unknown, not
The
show
unknown?
shit that you don't know. God damn it.
All right. Well, anyways, the shadow's shown in the window, but then it turns out it was
Katie's dad.
Katie's dad,
I'll probably remember the names more than
Mr.
you.
Jensen. And then Mr. Jensen gets
Mad.
arrested. Yeah, gets mad about Katie's disappearance, and then
gets arrested.
and then cuts to him getting arrested. Yeah, and then they're back in school, and then the girls talk to the boys, being like, "Hey, did you summon Slenderman, by the way?" And the boys were like, "Oh no, we chickened out. We didn't do that." And then the three girls talk about, how Katie disappeared. They're like, think about it. We all watched that video, and then all of a sudden she disappeared. Kind of like how three guys interacted with a book, and then all of a sudden a killer was chasing them. Yeah.
If you know, you know.
Yeah. Anyways, they all start walking down the street, and then they go down to Katie's house, and they sneak into Katie's house while her dad is sleeping. But instead, Ren freaking rings the doorbell and distracts him for a bit while the other two sneak in the room. But like, why don't they just sneak while he's already sleeping? I don't know, man. But anyways, as Ren is distracting him, the other two girls, they go into Katie's room, and then they're surprised that she's gone. Yes.
And then they say, oh, the police must have taken her laptop. Why the fuck would the police be at her house?
Uh-huh. But when they go to her room, they find a journal of just stuff, and then they find a bunch of pages relating to Slenderman. That's your only
That's the
reference.
closest thing you'll ever get to accurate Slender Man, like anything.
Yeah, that's it right there, folks. That is literally it.
Actually, no, let me rephrase that. It's fair that the police would be at her house, but why the fuck would they just take shit? Without, like, any reason to, or like a warrant or something.
Uh-huh. But, okay. But then they check her closet, and they find a laptop, so the police didn't take her laptop. Sorry, where was I at again? I'm literally reading this. Okay.
Laptop.
Anyways, they're back home and they watch videos about Slenderman sightings. And these videos contain like kids encountering Slenderman or Slenderman's in the background. The video is just cut. And there's a video with Katie in it. And the camera, it looks so far away. Like, it looks like someone else is recording her. Or her arms are just really long. Because that
like Slenderman.
And the video is just her being like scared that there's a shadow in front of her, and then it just cuts. And then they're like, what was that? Anyways, cut to Ren going on her laptop, which by the way, she just knows the password, I guess. And don't worry, that's gonna be another problem eventually. And then Ren goes on the thing about the Slenderman sightings and is able to text some unknown person. Anyways, cut to them at school. Yeah, we're jumping all over the place. Cut to them at school, and then Ren talks about the texting experience being like, Katie is gone, and you won't see her again until you give him something. Him obviously being Slenderman.
Really? I thought it was Eyeless Jack.
I don't know, man. Anyways, Ren talks about how Slenderman, he's like a virus that gets into your computer hard drive. Yeah. Naturally, we were at least I was laughing my ass off when I heard that. But to anyone else, you'd probably just be like, "Why is this so relevant to anything?"
I cannot believe that was actually said in the movie.
Yeah.
That was like a slap. That was like a slap in the face for us.
Yeah.
Not only did we watch a horrible movie, the horrible movie insulted us.
Yes. But yeah, to everyone else, you'd probably be like, "Why are we making this a big deal?" But anyways, they talk about surrendering something to Slenderman. It has to be something that you love. So, and then Ren talks about a possibility of why Katie just went missing or interacted with Slender Man because she hated life and definitely considered Ren on running away to somewhere. Anyways, cut to them in the forest. They keep walking, and the three girls they give away their most valuable things, which I didn't even check what it was. And
It was a picture, and then like a cloth, and then a pot, like makeshift pottery that Ren made a pottery thing that when she was 5.
yeah,
Meanwhile, the other two are more sentimental, whatever the fuck that was.
uh huh. Anyways, they put their things on the floor, and then they also have to put on blindfold so that Slenderman takes it. But if you take off the blindfold, then something bad happens. And then they have to hold hands and wait for Slenderman to get there. Which, by the way, I basically predicted that's how you at least get Slenderman to get close to you. You have to get in a circle and hold hands.
And I literally predicted not okay. I also kind of predicted something. It was like I swear to God, if the way you summon him is to say his name 3 times, but no, it was involving 3 bells that basically do it.
Yeah.
So we both already were predicting somewhat what was gonna happen.
Uh huh. So as they hold hands, they wait, and then they hear bells ringing, and then Chloe takes off her blindfold. Yeah, very great. And then Slender Man is there. You actually see him for the first time, which oh no, man.
It's Slender
He
Man.
looks just as low quality as he is in literally anything else. And then Chloe freaks out, and then she runs away. Meanwhile, Ren and Hallie, they're trying to find her, and then boom, they find Chloe, and I guess she lost her shoe. Anyways, just cut to fucking Hallie at her house. Lizzie knocks on her door about hanging out, and then cut to Chloe just listening to music, and then the music distorts, and then she gets an unknown FaceTime call, and when she answers the call, it shows footage of her house, and the phone, it's just okay. It just goes through the door, which looks cool, I guess. And while all this is going out, Chloe's just looking at her phone. She's not even looking around. When she saw the phone like recording outside her house, she could have looked out her window and see what it was. But instead, she was looking at the fucking phone. But anyways, as she's looking at her phone, more hallucinations, more noise going on. The door's shaking. She opens the door, nothing's there. But then Slenderman catches her and is like strangling her. And then when she looks at her reflection of her getting strangled, she screams. So you screamed there, but not when Slenderman was strangling you. Okay, that makes sense. And then it passes a few days. I know the movie has to go on, but a few days is pretty big when it comes to information. But okay, just skip that, I guess. And then it cuts to Ren talking to one of the fucking the man bros or whatever the fuck, one of them named Tom. And then as Tom is talking to her, Ren just sees Slenderman in the distance. And I guess Tom doesn't notice.
That was Haley again, but I just like the idea that you just keep messing up.
I don't fucking care anymore, dude. Anyways, cut to Ren researching Slenderman and sees pictures of Slenderman. There's the one we all know and love where there's just a bunch of people and then Slenderman's in the background. And then it shows one with some horrible Photoshop in the forest.
I lost my shit after when I saw that image.
Yeah.
Because it literally is just a picture, a random PNG of Slenderman, and they lowered the opacity and they put it into a random image. That's what it looked like. Yeah. Like the first image was actually like, oh, it looks distorted, and it's like you could barely really make it out. So it's like, oh, that's pretty good. Meanwhile, the other ones were just badly photoshopped images.
Yeah. Anyways, Ren's going through all these Photoshop pictures and then looking up more research about shadow people and then real world history and then Pied Piper and then bioelectricity. I think Slender Man has to do with all this shit. I don't know. Yeah. And so, going through more research, Ren goes through the library and just starts tapping on bookshelves and shit. And then she starts hearing shit. And then more hallucinations. She suspects something behind a bookshelf, but no, it's just the librarian walking by. And then she tries to call Hallie, but then the power goes out, her phone goes out, and then the room's just dark. So surely it's gonna get good, right?
Yeah, she has her flashlight on her phone.
It's pitch darkness, a bunch of creaking noises happening, and then she looks down the hallway, and oh, there's Slender Man. Sorry, it took me a bit to recognize him because it was so low quality. Then again, he's always low quality. But yeah, he's there. And then bells are ringing as she's running away. And then Ren is in the mirror dimension from Doctor Strange or some shit as she's running down the library. And then Slender Man catches her, strangles her, and then seals her face, and she starts screaming, which it's pretty cool.
That's like the only good thing in this movie.
Yeah. Is that
like
scene.
Slender Man getting that up close, and then a hard cut to like her having no face.
Yeah.
And her like screaming like her ass off. Like that was actually really well done.
Yep.
The only fucking good thing in this movie.
Mm-hmm. Anyways, she's back in the real world, and then I wanted to know what like the other people were saying, like, oh, you were like having a seizure or something, but no, we don't know that. We don't know anything about that. It's just there. She just walks out. And then cut to Ren going to Hallie, teaching her psychology 101 or some shit. I don't know anymore, dude. And then what's the it? And then Hallie talked about her experience with Slender Man. And they're at Chloe's house because Chloe's been missing after she got strangled that one time. Because it doesn't want to tell you about her, but whatever. They're at Chloe's house and they see her and she's like possessed or something. And then they just leave.
And we never see her again.
Yeah, we don't. She was just possessed, I think, and they just run away from her house. And then, Ren is like yelling at Hallie, being like, Katie's missing, and then something's wrong with Chloe. And it's all because we watched this video. We shouldn't have done this. And meanwhile, Hallie's like, I don't care. I just want to go back to reality. I'm gonna hang out with Tom now. Yeah, just ignore literally everything. Two of your closest friends, by the way, but all right. Anyways, Hallie's at Tom's house, and he shows her some music. And before this scene happened, I was like, let me guess, they're gonna make out, and then the music's gonna distort, and then the hallucination shit. That literally happens. They make out, and then I say out loud, let me guess, the music's gonna distort. It distorted, and then she starts hallucinating. And then cut to them at the kitchen talking about, oh, have you seen the have you summoned Slender Man or something? And then Tom thinks about watching the video. But yeah, he was just thinking about it and was like, oh, don't worry, I'm not gonna watch it. Hallie leaves, and then cut to everyone at school, and then Tom returns and he looks scared. Yeah, I'm sure that's going to build up to something, right? That's the last of we see of Tom, by the way.
Yep.
Yeah. That's the last we see of Chloe, and then that's the last we see of Tom. Yeah. They're really good at the important thing of storytelling, which is resolution. But whatever. Anyways, cut to Hallie or Ren. I don't even know who it was because I couldn't even recognize their face. They're texting the unknown person that knows about Slender Man, but then that account gets terminated. And then Hallie and Ren text for a bit, asking like, where's Ren? And then what the fuck? Haley hears Katie's voice through her house, and then Haley chases Katie in the forest and then sees Slender Man in the forest. And then Slender Man's in the keep in mind, I literally predicted how this is gonna go. Slender Man's in the distance, and then Hallie hides behind the tree. She looks over, Slender Man's not there. She looks back, and it turns the other direction, Slender Man's there.
Like, they literally are unapologetically following every cliched rule book with horror in this movie.
Yep. Oh, but speaking of cliche, don't worry, it's all a dream. Yeah, that was all a dream. And then she goes to the bathroom, and then she coughs a lot, and then she hallucinates, and her belly gets big because she's pregnant, and then claws come out, tentacles. Oh, but it's all a dream again.
A double fake out. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, she coughed like that.
Yeah. Anyways, now in the real world, Lizzie's like seizing out or something, and then she gets taken to the hospital, and doctors say she got a panic attack. And then Hallie walks down the hospital, because we needed more hallucinations. Well, guess what? Now you get more hallucinations in slow motion. And then she goes back to Lizzie's room, and she sees that Lizzie's dead. And then she has more hallucinations, and then she's back to reality.
By the way, there was one part where like there was like someone walking down. It wasn't Slender Man, but it was like some doctor like walking down with like a lab
Oh yeah.
with a lab coat. And Ruben was like, it would have been so funny if it was just Slender Man just wearing a lab coat.
Yeah, that would have been funny. In fact, if you put that in the movie, it would not change shit.
Almost as if you could probably just remove Slender Man and put any other horror character, any character from Dead by Daylight rather, and it wouldn't change anything.
I guess, yeah. Anyways, back to reality, and then Lizzie gets taken to the ICU, and then rough cut to Hallie back home on Lizzie's laptop, knowing the password, because I guess everyone knows everyone's password in this movie. Yeah,
They're smart enough to know everyone's passwords, yet they succumb to themselves in the most like stupid shit in horror, like doing the worst decisions possible.
yeah. Anyways, Hallie goes through Lizzie's laptop. I can't even talk anymore. And she finds a video, one of the Slender Man sighting videos, and then she sees that Lizzie was on there. But in this video, she finds out that Ren actually set her up. Now, I want to point out, in this video, Ren was trying to set her up, possibly trying to keep it a secret. But why would Ren point the phone towards her to show her face?
And that they probably could have like set something up like, oh, Ren was Slender Man the whole time, or like Ren was a subject to be a contributor to Slender Man's actions, which is a reference to those two girls that did that horrible thing to that one girl, because they thought it was because of Slender Man. They could have done a reference to that, but no, they decided to just do this movie.
Mm-hmm. So naturally, Hallie's very pissed and everything about setting up her sister. So she goes to Ren's house and goes into like the attic and finds a bunch of pictures and research about Slender Man.
Nice.
Uh-huh. As she's looking at all these pictures, looking at all the research, she sees Ren outside the window about to jump off. And Hallie pulls Ren, and then Ren starts crying that Slender Man wants them. He doesn't want, just random objects that they're sentimental about. And then out of nowhere, Ren gets a phone call. It goes into static, and then the exact same thing with Chloe. It goes into FaceTime, and Chloe's just looking at the phone. So they actually do the right thing. They lock the door, but it doesn't matter because a shadow blob goes through the door, which I was really curious. How are they going to show like Slender Man like going through the door or something? But no, it's just a shadowy blob thingy. You could have just put Slender Man there. It would have looked cool, but no, just make a shadowy blob. Anyways, once this shadowy blob comes in, Slender Man's outside the window, grabs Ren, and then throws her out. And I think she died.
Oh yeah, honestly, I forgot that happened.
I think she died. I don't know, because we don't see the rest of her in this movie. I thought she was the protagonist, but I guess not. I don't even know who's the protagonist of this film. So as Ren gets thrown out, Hallie just looks out the window and has flashbacks to everything in this movie and was like, hey, I should go in the forest. So she runs to the forest. Okay, sorry, everyone. As you know, I'm reading all this, okay? I'm reading everything on my phone. How long have we been recording?
We're about to reach the 30-minute mark.
Damn, this... Okay, even though the runtime was like what, like an
An
hour
hour and
and
a
30.
half.
I'm already on the last page.
I guess we just wanted to get this over with or some shit. I don't know.
Okay.
We did not elaborate on these scenes much compared to like Madam Web, where we just trashed on like a lot of the certain scenes.
Or a majority of it is just flashbacks and hallucinations, or hallucinations in slow motion. Okay, anyway, sorry everyone. Uh, so let's see. Ren gets thrown out the window, and then Hallie's in the forest, and then she finds some gates that are within the hallucinations she was experiencing at the hospital.
And the video from before.
Yeah. So she sees the gates, and then from her hallucination, she continues walking, and then she finds Slender Man, and Slender Man is like right in front of her, and then she's like, "Okay, just take me, I surrender," and all that, and then Slender Man turns into Doc Ock or something and starts chasing her, and then she runs, even though she literally surrendered to Slender Man. Is like, "Hey, take me," but now she wants to run away. Anyways, as she's running away, Hallie uh, just looks around, and then a tree just grows its branches and starts grabbing her. And then she gets pulled into the tree, and then she becomes a tree. Yeah,
When you die, you become a
yeah. And then cut to Lizzie at the hospital crying about Hallie possibly dead. And then the movie ends with Lizzie, of all people, monologuing about Slender Man, and about those four girls, two of which didn't even go missing. They were just there. God knows what happened to Ren. They didn't even like conclude that. Chloe's there, but just not.
not fully there
Yeah.
in the head.
Uh-huh.
Katie, we never really get back to her after like that.
Yeah, she just disappeared.
Like there's one thing about keeping things a mystery, and then there's just not resolving shit that is improperly done.
Uh-huh. Like, bro, even if it was Katie dead, you could have. There you go. There's your answer. But no, it's just open ended. But yeah, monologue about how Slender Man is like an urban legend, and he feeds on fear and all that. Your typical supernatural shit. And then the movie ends. But after we watched the movie, it showed like the preview, because we're watching this on streaming service. It showed a preview of the Slender Man movie, and there were some scenes in there that were just cut from the original movie, like something happening in grass field, and then Chloe stabbing herself in the eye with a pen or a scissors. Where the fuck was that in the movie? They just cut that?
I'm assuming because it had blood in it and it was
Oh,
PG-13.
yeah, PG-13. I forgot. So what, was it not marketed as PG-13 when it first came out? Okay.
I could not tell you, to be honest with you.
Anyways, yeah, that's Slender Man. I know this was really fast. We've been recording for half an hour, but a majority of this movie, it's so fast paced. Like, scene happening here, and then cut to them at school, and then cut to them in a forest, and then hallucinations happen. And then hallucinations in slow motion happen, and then flashback. And mind you, we are recording this right after we watch this movie.
And mind you, the only impression we ever had of this movie was that Glenn saw it previously, and he said it was not bad.
Yeah, that movie was bad. It was beyond bad. And yeah, this was like our first like horror movie review, because they were all comic book movies. Okay, this is our first horror movie. So
We did not. First off, we did not get scared once.
oh yeah,
There was one good disturbing scene, but other than that, nothing else was good about this movie.
bro, I don't even need melatonin because I already feel sleepy.
I was yawning like halfway through the movie anyway, so.
Uh-huh. But yeah, that's Slender Man, folks.
On a scale of 1 to 10, I want to give it a 0 because I'm debating on whether or not if it's just as bad as Madam Web.
Okay, so here's the thing. Like, of course, we did nothing but comic movies, so it's kind of easy to judge there. But since it's a horror movie, nothing related to comics, It's like, okay, I don't have like anything in comparison of like, okay, what horror movie is worse than Slender Man? Which I can't even think of one at the top of my head.
I guess I don't want to say it's like
But yeah, I don't
it,
want to say zero.
I'll just say 1 in a 10.
I'm gonna
Just
say one as well.
just because it's a nothing sandwich again, like Madam Web was, and it could have been I guess it could have been a lot worse.
Uh,
The acting was fine.
it was fine. Yeah, it's passable.
Ren probably did the best job out of everybody.
Uh huh. Even then, it's just fine.
I think the only thing that's carrying it was just that one good disturbing scene of her losing her face. Like that's the only thing that really saved this movie from being, because if it was just like nothing but bad, if that scene was not included, it probably would have been actually a 0 out of 10.
Mm-hmm.
Because Madam Web also had only one good scene. So I'm like, all right.
You know, I'm gonna say 1.5. And if you're wondering what that 0.5 was, it's because it's Slender Man. Which, like I said, you could have switched it with literally either pick any killer in fiction or just make up your own killer. Probably would not make a difference. It could have been Sadako. It could have been fucking Unknown from Dead by Daylight.
Speaking of which, yeah, this movie really was just the definition of stock horror movie.
Yeah, it was.
Cliches everywhere. They didn't even do anything in original. There's like, oh yeah, a video, and you hear 3 bells, and you have to huddle around in a circle, and the jump, and it's just try to be jump scare like central, even though most of it was like the worst attempts. They don't even do jump scares. They're not like hard cuts to like a jump scare. It's just like him appearing, and then that's the like out of a shadow or something, and that's
Uh-huh. And you know, just to keep this podcast running a little bit more, as some of you guys may know,
Hmm.
Jason came out in Dead by Daylight. Now, naturally, with DVD community, a lot of people hated it, but it got me thinking. Okay, well, if you didn't want Jason, well, first of all, y'all been asking for Jason for years, and if you didn't, who the fuck did you want? And the other two common killers I hear are either Pennywise or Slender Man. And after watching this movie, I do not want to see Slender Man in Dead by Daylight, or at least not anytime soon.
I am not opposed to Slender Man being in Dead by Daylight. I just hope they don't go to this movie as inspiration. And they go
Yeah.
for the more video game where, I mean, the setup is there. Use pages, and it probably would make it harder for Slender Man to find you or something. I don't know. Just something
Uh-huh.
like,
Like after this, like of course, you know, everyone has their own gimmicks of Slender Man, which, you know, it's clearly obvious half of you don't even play Dead by Daylight. But more importantly, they better not pick this variant of Slender Man. And to top things all off, I prefer those fucking creepypasta fan fictions of Slender Man being a father figure than whatever the fuck I just watched.
damn.
Yeah, I'm going there.
Yeah, this was one of the worst horror movies I ever seen.
Probably one of the worst movies I've ever seen.
And I would say that I could probably do better, but at the same time, that's a bit. I'm not trying to say that the people didn't try. The writers didn't fucking try, but the people who are probably trying to work their asses off on this movie probably tried to do something. But other than that, I mean, I don't even like. I don't know if it was like forced in the studio or if it was a dare, whatever the case may be. The end result didn't turn out that good, and it makes sense why this movie has an 8% on Rotten Tomatoes
Yeah.
and listed as one of the worst movies ever made.
Mm-hmm.
But I know there's way worse, though. I do know that there are way, way worse. This was just mainly boring and just uneventful and just disappointing as hell.
Mm-hmm.
And just frustrating about, like, certain aspects, so. But yeah, that is going to wrap it up for today's podcast. I know we probably sounded the most unenthusiastic that we've ever heard, if you guys ever heard in this podcast, if you're even watching this shit.
Uh-huh.
But
I'd argue our first Ad or Not Pokemon podcast was more. We sounded more interested in that one
just like a
than
like it's
this.
just like a cut of like all of our intros. Just everything is the same up until this one.
Yes.
Just like hello everyone, hello everyone, hello everyone.
So true.
At least it makes it different. So thanks, Slender Man, for making this one. You know, fuck you. You need to fuck you, Slender Man.
Yeah, fuck you. I do not want to see your face in Dead by Daylight anytime soon.
But he has no face.
I don't give a shit.
So, but yeah, by the time you're watching this, I either am still in Florida or I just got back from Florida. So that's why we were pre-recording this and we were like, we don't know what to do, so let's just watch a movie. And they were like, oh yeah, let's just watch Slender Man. So on that note, Ruben, what could be for future episodes?
Oh, sorry, I was zoning out, everyone. Let's see here. Connor, funny thing, by the time we're recording this, Connor is actually graduating middle school.
Yeah, congratulations to him.
So, chances are we have more free time to record with him. Other than that, we got the pet peeves one.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I'm losing sight of everything right now. On top of that, the Amazing Digital Circus theatrical release will be coming like in about what 9 days or something, or a week?
Practically a day after this podcast episode will be released. So
Okay, yeah, we were thinking about talking something relating to Digital Circus because one, the theatrical release or episode 9 will come out around that time on YouTube, and two, ever since we record that Phantoms podcast and then the whole theatrical release with Amazing Digital Circus, it was complete hellfire from there.
So yeah, that could be the Digital Circus review, like us actually going through every episode and being like, all right, this was our review of each one, and then diving into maybe some controversies that we talked about in the Fandoms episode, but we'll see.
Mhm.
But on that note, I'm Mateo,
And I'm Ruben.
and we'll see you guys next time. Fuck, Slender Man.